welcome to my channel. My next request is Lowkey. I think I've done him once before. That was the one about the Grenfell Towers fire. That was a really interesting one. And this one sounds like it's going to be something along the same lines. The name of the song is Ahmed, and this was requested by Zach on the 22nd of February of this year. And Zach wrote quite a lengthy note. With all the anti-immigration rhetoric being ramped up across the Western world and propagated by a billionaire class of heartless men who would never have to fight for their homes, let alone worry about the fear of becoming a refugee, empathy is being replaced by apathy and compassion for contempt. This video is a warning against war, climate change, and a corrupt world financial system that is predicated upon the maintenance of perpetual poverty in the third world, whilst also shining a light on the absolute desperation of its victims. One victim in particular that shocked Europe at the time was a young boy called Alan Kurdi, whose photograph you can obtain from a quick Google search, was swept out to sea after being pulled away from his father's arms by strong currents. Ahmed is a generalized name some in Europe use to dehumanize human beings seeking safety and shelter. Lowkey uses the name to show the human suffering, stories, and history of these people. Rest in peace, Alan Kurdi, and the thousands of others like him. Thank you. So, this sounds like it's going to be heavy, but that's okay. That's one of the reasons why we have music, is to do heavy things. Before we get into that, though, I do want to thank you for coming, and thank you for everything you do to support my channel. Thank you for all of it. I always put the artist links in the description of their playlist so you can support them as well, but I put the link to the song that I'm reacting to in the description of the video. I also put a link in there from Wikipedia if I can find anything that makes sense and is relevant. I don't put the link to the reaction request form, though, because I'm not currently accepting new requests. I have over 3,200 in my queue. I've got to take care of some of those before I take any more in. But in the meantime, I live stream on Sundays, every Sunday, at 5 p.m. UTC on Rumble. I go for 2 hours. So if you come to Rumble at 5 p.m. UTC on Sunday and you put a request in the chat, I'm going to react to it live. So this is Lowkey singing, rapping Ahmed.
His young life was as delicate as the wing of a butterfly and as fragile as a spider's web. For him we cry, 'cause when he dies, we all do. Did Ahmed not deserve a life? Ahmed never hurt a fly. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by. Certain times Ahmed wished that he could be a bird and fly beyond the sky, escape the curse of birth that he was burdened by. Ahmed never grew to let your racism internalize. Water poured from every pore in his corpse while the nurses cried. Ahmed was a beautiful person, like you or I. But are we? Ahmed could have been a doctor, lawyer or an engineer, could have been a superstar, but his life ended here. Guess he was a shooting star, burnt bright and disappeared. To some he seems to represent a menace in this hemisphere. Let me hear, make the very essence of this message clear. He was precious, many die like him every year. Ahmed was a victim of resentment and relentless fear. Now his soul surfs the waves, I wish we could have kept him here.
The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed.
Ahmed's ancestors introduced to Europe Greek philosophy, brought with them irrigation, mathematics and astronomy. Symbolically, irony of this horror isn't lost on me. Trying to get to Europe via Greece is where he's lost at sea. Ahmed, not Ahmed, it's Ahmed, he's that dead. Toddler lying lifeless on the beach with his back bent, arms spread, reaching the direction that his dad went. If he made it here, would have been bullied for his accent. He was captured by the ocean, paralyzed and frozen while these parasites sat and typed, analysing clothing out for resources. We all compete beyond the talk of war and peace and talk of porous borders. There is corpses on the shore of Greece. They found a teddy next to where his body was found. The sea swallowed him, politics has swallowed him now, and those responsible, Ahmed's goals will follow them now. To the family, all we can say is we are sorry he drowned, because
the sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul.
They say, let him drown, let him drown, let him drown. What have you done? Let him drown, let him drown. No, what have we become? No, let him drown. No, don't let him drown. And they say, let him drown, let him drown, let him drown. What have you done? No, let him drown, no, let him drown. No, what have we become? No, let him drown. Please don't let him drown.
Ahmed could have been you, and Ahmed could have been me. We need to understand the policies that put him in the sea. We need to understand why it is the beach is full of dying kids. A colonial metropole people want to reside in. If he did, would he make it or fall to something that's deeper? End up like Jimmy and Benga or Khalid Abu Dharifa. A picture by Khaver Paulus on the beaches of Tarifa made me see some would grieve more if Ahmed was a creature with 4 legs. Then they would consider him legitimate. Those like him braving barbed wire, burning off their fingertips while force alien act. That mentality still exists as privilege. The difference between the expat and an immigrant. For Ahmed Somani and Uthman Rasul Muhammad, when you take others' humanity, it's only yours that's stunted, not a swarm. There are sisters and brothers, that's the sum of it. The cockroaches here are in the media and the government, not the sea.
The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed. The sea, it holds our secrets. The sea, it holds his soul. They call him Ahmed.
Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by. Ahmed never knew the politicians he was murdered by.
Wait a minute, did you have something to do with it? Yes. No, yes, no. No, that Navy SEAL training was just for laughs. Wait a minute, you trained as a Navy SEAL? No, how did you know? Who said anything about Navy SEALs? I'm just a simple little terrorist. Stop interrogating me, damn it, you're good at this!
Wow. He's a good rapper. That's for sure. And that was a good song. The lyrics are troubling, to put it mildly, because they only portray part of the story, the part that he wants you to know about. Which is fine. We need to know about that, but we need to know about the whole story. And he didn't tell us that. Ahmed is dead because it's not really Ahmed, but the boy is dead. Not only because of what politicians have done and what the elites have done, and what we have done, but also because of what his father did. His father was the one who decided to take him across the ocean and try to get him to the shores of Greece or wherever it was they were going. And so his father has to take some of the responsibility for his death, as hard as that is to say. And I don't know. Gosh, issues like this are so complex and they're so difficult. And when you try to boil them down to just the emotion of them, you lose a lot of the information that is needed to understand them in the proper context. I'll just give you one example. A lot of people like to accuse the Europeans from coming to America and committing genocide on the Indians, the American Indians. But, the Indians were killing each other a long time before the Europeans showed up. And what killed the Indians was the diseases that the Europeans carried that they had developed immunities for, but the Indians had not. So it wasn't like they deliberately went to kill them. It was a unfortunate, horrible consequence of their presence that they probably couldn't have even foreseen. They never would have thought of. And they certainly weren't deliberately infecting Indians, and yet they died by the thousands. And that's just one example. I mean, you can go through history. From beginning to end, it's filled with stories like that, where there's much more to the story if you get the context. And it's very easy to get caught up in the emotions and say this is wrong. And it is, but it's not the only part of it that's wrong. And we all need to be a lot more understanding of each other and a lot more understanding of history and understanding of what's going on in history and understanding more than anything that it's all spiritual. Every single bit of it is spiritual. It's all because of the battle between God and Satan. And we're just pawns in that game. And the only way to escape is to get born again. I've said enough, I guess. I pray that God will open your eyes to the truth, whatever that truth might be for you, and that you will understand more than you ever have before about the spiritual aspect of life and how important it is that you are connected with God. And I pray that for every single person that you love as well. This is the Vietnam era vet out.